Is that
Okay. But I need to stress the importance of making sure that if Plan A falls through, it doesn't sound like you have Plan B actually, and so Plan B is a part of the process. But we or the board needs to make sure that they cover all ends in a sense. If you don't hire a search firm to help you with looking for an interim and a full-time superintendent, then someone on this board needs to take through the responsibility of weeding through applications and resumes and backgrounds and references. There's a lot of stuff that needs to make sure that the candidates that you bring back to interview are vetted. And if for some reason it does not work out with with a local superintendent, you need to be prepared in conjunction to be seeing what's the best for this district out there. So I would strongly encourage that another meeting be set up within 3 days or 4 days, or because you guys need to start this process of figuring out what search firm, if you're going to do that, and if you don't do that, who's going to handle the process of reviewing resumes, the confidentiality of that, and all that other stuff that goes along with HR. And so that's the reason why you pay that X amount of dollars, is to delegate some of that responsibility. And so I would strongly encourage that after tonight's meeting that you guys call another meeting within even you could do a Friday. So today is Tuesday, so you could do Wednesday, so basically you do a meeting on Friday. So you could direct Sarah by tomorrow and do a meeting by Friday, because the reason why I say that is that it's really crucial to get in front of this, because if we don't, July 1st will be here, like in 2 months, literally, a month and a half.
Has the committee reached out to any of the firms that work with the retired superintendents?
IASB has provided us with a list of superintendents that would be on that spectrum. So we do have a list.
Would that be included in that $8,000, or is that just something that they give you?
They gave it to us because we asked for it, and we would have to
contact and do. Okay, but so that is a strong option B.
Right.
We
We
have
actually looked at as well to see if we were able to get the ISB to do a survey to start even looking with that of sharing with 234 to get the input before any decision was made. They do not do that separately. So it's approximately was about $8,000 for the full search, and what they said that they would be willing to do is if we signed on with them to look for the full time in the fall, they can start the process now with the survey, so we can get that out, get that back in hiring our interim, and have those responses through, and then continue on. There would be no additional charge from the rest, but they would not do it separately. Part of the spot we're in, the committee agreed that that there's option A and option B, but there's been no consensus to bring this suggestion to this board to approve any spending of monies hiring on anybody else.
And just so it's clear that the last 2 times this board has hired a superintendent to use the ISAB, and both times they did seek a survey and the input of both principals and both parent organizations out there and the teachers union. So everyone participated in that process of hiring the superintendent. And so, great, thank you. Dr. Milley, MOU?
So we have a MOU with the association that's on the agenda tonight. The MOU would place an employee on the appropriate lane and step on the salary schedule. I recommend that the Board of Education approve this. Both our attorney and the NEAT representative have reviewed it and agree with what's on the document.
Thank you. New business? You want to talk about the 399?
Yeah, Local 399, we have 2 individuals that work on as our custodial staff, and Local 399 recently sent me a letter, and as required, I've given it to the Board of Education so that they are aware that they want to negotiate, and it's the board's duty to either write back or to have the superintendent initiate these steps that will move us in the direction of negotiating with the Local 399 representatives. Keep in mind that that agreement expires on June 30th of this year.
Thank you. Do you want to touch on, you already touched on.
Yeah, I
the
touched
phone.
on
Okay.
the B and C, which is the Lee phone system. What I will be doing is I will be writing a letter to the Norwood Township as well as NSF, seeing if we can get some monies put in our direction for the Lee phone system, as well as the lift at Lee. I believe that both of these are critical issues, and it's almost like Yogi Berra would say, deja vu all over again. So we have the phone system, and now we're revisiting the lift once again.
How much was the phone system?
The phone system at Giles School, which is slightly different because you don't have as many rooms, the phone system was $25,000, just under $25,000. At Lee, it may be more expensive because we have more staff, and it will require more equipment needs. And so our director of technology is currently in the process of pricing out the Ring Central system for Lee School.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misinterpreted. I thought you said that it had already been completed, the work at Lee, that Lee's phone system's back up and working.
Lee's is back up and working, but let's just, if we go back in
Through
time.
the Ring system or through the old
No,
system that was
it's
there?
AT&T,
I see, thank
so
you.
the old system. So if you go back in time, since I've been here, I think that phone system has been down 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
And so this was, in my opinion, it could be the last time. Fortunately, they had the parts that they can actually make the repairs.
No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you said that it had already been, the work had been completed.
Okay.
Great. We're going to have our reorganizational meeting on next Tuesday, April 23rd at 7 o'clock at Lee. So the new elected officials could be sworn in. So please make arrangements for everyone to be able to attend.
Yeah, and then if the newly elected candidates plus the existing board members, don't forget, we have training with Perry Hill on 5/2 at 7 p.m.
That'll be at Lee School.
Yeah, that'll be at Lee.
Great. I have
And that's a closed session.
Closed session.
That's a closed session training, which is allowable under school code.
the next item we have is the PTO fundraising, Queen of Hearts. Lisa Magoulias reached out to me asking me how would the board feel about letting a local business do a raffle of the Queen of Hearts. And so she wanted me to bring it up to the board to see if anyone had any issues with that. Typically with the PTO, because they're already a part of the school, the only thing that they would need to prove if they're doing some type of advertising out there. But they wanted us to at least have that conversation. She's working with this local business to do it, and she's looking for the blessing. The one thing that she wants to put in a caveat is there's 2 different PTOs. There's one for Lee and one for Giles. And her intent with this is for both schools to benefit from it, not just one. And so that would be just the one caveat on how to work that out. And if no one has any issues with it, I would direct Dr. O'Malley and Lisa to get together to see what do they need and what do we need, if anything, to go to have this fundraiser. Any questions?
Yes. No issue at all with the fundraiser advertising. Where this is something that is more money based and not for a product like the popsicle sales, this and that, are we breaking any board policy if we were to collect money for this, or is all the money
It's
outside
all,
of the
so
school?
the way she explained it to me is, so they'll sell raffle tickets. So let's assume that they sell $10,000 of raffle tickets. The winner of the raffle would get $5,000, and $5,000 would go to the school.
Right, but I'm saying, would the raffle
They
tickets
hold
be sold in the school, or is that outside?
It's outside the school. So
Okay.
so they would advertise. I'm sure that they would like to advertise for the parents to buy tickets also in school. So that's something that the superintendent needs to work with the PTO to see what we can and cannot do. But but she's saying that the local business they don't get anything out of it. It's just basically another way for them to advertise and so forth. So that's the whole idea for her. She says that it could be very lucrative. I know last year there was someone in the northern part of Illinois that was a pretty big one through the VFW hall at my memory serves me correct. Great, thank you. We'll go to board comments.
Well, then I had something else under, Dr. O'Malley, I was contacted today through an email from Kelly Tenorella regarding the SVPP COPS grant. Looks like we may have another opportunity to explore that avenue. The caveat or the expiration date on this grant is it ends 5/31. Whereas I know last year when we got wind of the SVPP COPS grant, it went through the end of July.
Mhm.
So just how would we handle this?
Well, first off, that's a municipal grant,
Okay,
so the municipality would need to apply for the grant. That's how we did it last time. We applied for the cameras and also the phone systems. The individual we work with, I believe his first name is Todd. I can't remember the last name, but Todd is hired by the village as well as other municipalities to apply for these grants. My understanding from talking with Todd is that we did well in our application the last time, but we didn't do well enough to get the grant. And so he felt that we can make modifications to the grant that we had submitted and reapply, and there may be some opportunities. The application was for a phone system as well as cameras. So if and when I do talk to Todd, I would say just don't include the phone system and let's look at the camera system, which we've been looking to do for the past 4 years. And so when we did give it to Todd, the cameras were about $80,000. So we can apply and we'll see where it goes with Todd, and I'll just make sure.
should we reach out to Todd and?
Yeah, I could just send him an email or give him a call, either or.
Anything else, Prescott?
No, that's all I had.
Thank you. Board comments?
I wanted to ask Servo about the email that went out about the texting and the phones in the 5th grade classes.
That was an email sent to me as a parent.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about it anyway. Have we addressed any of that? The stuff that's happening in 5th grade with the phones? With the cell phones and the students and pictures and Snapchat and all that?
This is news to me. Is there Snapchat?
Occasionally, there are discipline issues that involve Snapchat, and I wish it was never invented, frankly.
Yeah, I mean,
As a principal, if I could just get a hold of the person who invented it. Things happen outside of school. They are sometimes brought into school, and we have a nexus to address them in school when conflict arises. I don't know what else I can say without going into individuals, which I can't really do.
right. It's just that there's been a lot of problems with phones in education and just with young people, and this, I mean, at least the scuttlebutt that I've been hearing is that there's a lot of problems with things being sent back and forth, and just how we're addressing the disciplinary actions around the phones. Not to throw a bomb on this meeting, but that's something that I'm like deeply concerned about. So.
Right.
You know, the